And we're doing a history of Anchored. Well, not really a history, it's sort of a story of Anchored in 6 objects that are laying about the pub. So, am I in here? As you can tell, I've been sat here for an awful long time. If you look under the floor down here, you'll see roots taking. I'm not an object. Oh, you're not an object. Oh, yeah. No, you're not an object. Yes. Object 1, the hangover kit. Now this was the first ever gift I got given here at Anchored in Worthing, 23rd of August 2013, by my good friend and one-time assistant, Mikey Pitt. Now Mikey came all the way down here from South London just to give me this, figuring that as a micropub owner I was going to need a hangover kit. However, as you'll see if I learn how to open it, oh, that way, no, that way, no, that way. Ah, that's it. Oh, it has never been used. Breath fresheners, coffee, a blindfold, oh, mobile toothbrush and toothpaste, and some other stuff in there. Strong coffee, glucose tablets as well, just the sort of things one needs for a hangover. However, being an abstemious sort of person, I've never actually had to use it in anger yet. Mikey was also instrumental in me going to South Africa in December 2013. A little bit sooner than I should have done, gone off on holiday after opening a pub. But Mikey stepped in at the last minute, came down, and he was cheap. So, and he's normally a very successful lighting designer up in London and all over the world. And without him, I wouldn't have gone to South Africa. This Mikey will always remind you of you. Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers. Object 2, the coconut. Now, you may be wondering why a coconut from the West Indies is doing here in Anchored in Worthing, gathering dust on the shelf in a mini little pub. Well, there's a little bit of a story behind this, to be quite honest. It was a dark and stormy night. No, that's a crap beginning, isn't it? It was a dark and stormy night, autumnal night back in 2013, October, November time, you know the sort of evening. I stepped outside for a little cigarette, and blowing along the gutter was this forlorn, poor little coconut. And I thought, oh, you poor, look, it's even got bulb there, look, it's been blowing along so much. And I thought, oh, I can't have that. It's looking so sad and miserable. Drenched it was, I thought I'd bring it in for a little bit of comfort and succour. I tried to suck it, but they say couldn't get through and get the milk, but so we just pulled it in.
Can't see it.
As I put it down on the table, I was drinking from this jug. No, there's a pea, that's a coconut. No, you won't like that, honestly. This is I was drinking from this, my favourite jug at the time. However, 1 or 2 beers later, maybe 3 or 4, who can tell? With a little bit more vigour than was necessary, I suspect, I placed the jug on the table. Unfortunately, with a little bit more vigour, it managed to crack the aforementioned jug. Just there, look. I don't know if you can see that, but rendering it pretty much bloody useless for drinking purposes. However, when the two were laid next to each other like that, I thought, we can place them in like that. Do you know what? A perfect symbiotic relationship, I felt. Never, ever will you be shied at. You'll be held there forever and ever, until such times I'm going to think of nothing else to do with it. If anybody's got any ideas where it actually did come from, I really wouldn't mind knowing. Many thanks, and that's the coconut. Origin, West Indies.
Don't look at me! What's he doing? He's looking at his. Oh no! This is the next project. Look at this! Look at this! What he's got now.
the speed gauge. Actually, I'll put that on there, so there's a bit more space, and Pete's probably would as well. This was built in an age before digital. Yes, it did actually exist. Almost analogue, a long, long time ago. I know some of you younger people who are watching this may well be unaware of the analogue age. This is when things didn't all work electronically. And something like this particular thing here, with bits of string and propellers, was able to, when I was out sailing, could tell me how fast my boat was sailing through the water. Incredible. Mechanical gears, little bits of plastic and metal and string. A very simple little object, a bit like the operators, to be quite honest. But having said that, one of these told Francis Chichester, Alec Rose, Jay Blythe, people like that, when they were sailing across the Atlantic and round the world back in the 60s and before, how many miles they would have covered in an hour. And that was quite an important thing to do. All they had was a sextant, which I might actually have a version of here. This is an ancient sextant, actually. It was just found in the River Arun, buried. And what you do with this, you sight on the sun at certain times of day, and it's for all angles, and you just lock it off. This one here is obviously not working very well, but it's an ancient object. So you have one of these, one of them, and be able to tell exactly where they were in the world. This, I think, is pretty amazing. In the days before electronic assistance. Me, I'm quite happy to move into the 21st century and have, nowadays when I sail, 100% electronic. Thank you very much. I'm not having any of this old rubbish behind me. I want to know exactly where I am and how I'm getting there. But, however, should the electricity go, it'll be there, ready for me to use. Should the entire world's satellites crash and everything like that, I'll be safe. I'll be able to get around the world. So that is a speed gauge and a sextant. Thank you.
Thank you, Nigel. Listen to the shank.
When are we going to be able to have proper glasses, right?
No, this has superseded the rope.
And the knots.
This has superseded the rope.
The thing that Columbus, they had...
Oh, I didn't mention Columbus.
He was sailing and he was doing 8 knots, but he didn't realise that the sea current was doing another 3 knots.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
this is the latest version. This was a more modern version. I didn't mention Columbus. Alec Rose, Francis Chichester.
Columbus.
Francis Chichester and Alex Rose who use these things to sail around the world with.
Now you do GPS,
Now we
it
do
tells
GPS.
you how fast the current is going.
Thank you very much, Pete. The Doctor Who police box. Now, let me make this very clear from the outset. I am not a Doctor Who fan. In fact, I was the kid who, back in the 60s, when it was first going on, was hiding behind the sofas. Oh, hello, that's somebody just fallen out of that. Hiding behind the sofa when the Cybermen and the Daleks were attacking Britain. Of course, we were all in a state of massive fear at the time because of the Cold War. You know, well, we didn't know, we were told aliens were invading. And the Russians were aliens, and we didn't know what a Russian looked like. Well, at least not at 6 and 7, I didn't. They could have looked like, well, a Dalek for all I knew. However, where have I got so many bloody Doctor Who bits and pieces laying about the place? Simple answer, drink. One drunken conversation one evening, in here, with the founders of the Worthing Comic Con, I somehow or another got talked into putting a TARDIS on the front end of the pub. Alcohol, you and I have got to have words. However, I thought, in the fullness of time, this will all be lost, forgotten. Unfortunately, the fullness of time has a better memory than me. It remembered, and unfortunately also had a very, very tenacious ally in Colum, who's one of the founding fathers of the Worthing Comic Con. He kept on badgering me. So the TARDIS on the outside of the building was built, designed by a guy called Mike Joyce, who's former set designer for people, I don't know, all sorts of things. What's that one with your man Sean Bean, very well known series. Everybody knows it. Come on, somebody help me out. Sean Bean, Sharp. That's it, Sharp, not Shaft. No, definitely not Shaft. No. Sharp and Minder and things like that he was working on television. Oh, and he started off with Jerry Anderson. But he'd always wanted to work with Doctor Who. Never got the opportunity. So when the opportunity came up to design that, he designed it. My master carpenter Will came in and built it. And then people started bringing me in things like this, which is actually quite good, because if you turn it on down the bottom here, you see it lands, but then when you close the doors, somehow, it changes noises. And it's flying off into the space, into the ether, and back up onto the shelf where it lives.
He's looking for Strictly.
We have to cut in
that's
music.
I've got it on my telephone. Having a nautical background, my great customers, past and present, seem to present me with a whole heap of lighthouses. Here, they come from all sorts of backgrounds. This one here in particular was hanging in a garden in West Sussex for quite a long time, actually in Storrington. Not a lot of shipping goes through Storrington, however, that's where it was. The others, junk shop finds, dips, dust gatherers, I really don't know where they've come from. But I thought you might like to know a little bit about the history of the modern shaped lighthouse. The first lighthouse of this design, where it was a tower building, was the Pharos of Alexandria, back in the Greek days. And that was built, and I'm going to have to look at my notes here because I really can't remember the exact dates, and people like Jake all put me right on it. So the earliest known lighthouse was between 305 and 240 BCE. Now I always used to call it BC, but apparently it's BCE, before the current era. See, we all learn something every day. So the Eddystone Lighthouse is the first of the modern shaped lighthouse. This sort of shape, the sort of thing you would have drawn when you were a kid at school. You know, and a nice light shining out there and there. It's a round, possibly with the red and white stripes going up and down it. That's what we call a modern one. The Eddystone Lighthouse was the first anyway in the UK, or certainly in England. So safe to say that since these lighthouses have been in the windows of anchored in Worthing, we haven't had one ship or boat crash into the pub. Testament to how well they work. This is Trevor, the latest addition to the family and member of staff here at Anchored in Worthing. We arrived here spring of this year. We've no idea where from. We do have a little bit of a thing behind him. We do know he's got a maple leaf on his foot, BC ferries on the other foot, and an anchor, so he obviously belongs here. Although we'd like to know who donated him, gave him, left him here. Generally we don't know. The BC we decided, thanks to a friend Jason down the end there, could stand for buttered crumpet ferries. This only because we know he doesn't like marmalade. Other bears do. That's it. Trevor, he's the latest member of staff. He doesn't buy rounds of drinks because he doesn't get paid well enough. Bears being exempted from the minimum wage legislation in the UK. Everybody else gets minimum wage. Well, maybe a little bit less, but you know, we'll see. That's Trev. Say hi. Bye, Trev. Bye. Say bye to Trevor, everybody. Bye. Bye, Trevor. That's it. Going back now to sit sentinel, you know, where he lives, on the back shelves. Listening and watching and keeping an eye on you lot. Don't you, Trev? Yes, he does. Oh, he's got a tail to tell. Oh, I can't repeat that in front of a camera. Oh, I really can't. We'll come back and talk about that later, mate. Cool. Bye.
Bye, Trevor.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Any idea where Cheryl's from? Any ideas? No.
Never seen him before.
No.
We'll ask around and see.
Yeah. Any ideas where Trevor came from?
Not a clue. He just turned up one day.
Anyone got any ideas?
No, not
Where
guilty.
Trevor
My
came
lad.
from? No
No idea.
idea, but he's here to stay.